Welcome to Line by Line Germany, as we study the main rail route between Fulda and Bad Hersfeld. Before we visit the station platforms at Fulda, let's have a look where our location actually is. Situated in the state of Hesse, Fulda lies northeast of Frankfurt am Main, in the central part of the country. Our programme begins at Fulda, where we head north following the line up to Bad Hersfeld, a distance of some 43 kilometres. From Fulda, our map shows us filming at various locations, including at Hohenfeld, Neukirchen, before reaching Bad Hersfeld. We will look at the route north to Bibra in a future programme. We begin though at Fulda itself, the station being on the northeast side of the town. The map shows our main filming locations. With at least 7 platform faces, the station is particularly busy, being the focal point for a number of lines heading north and south. We start on the evening of Wednesday the 26th of July 2017, as Class 120 number 123 powers at the rear of this the 15:30 from Stuttgart to Fulda, where the train terminates. The north to south main line on which the town is situated is an important freight corridor, and just about any type of traction can turn up. This is typified by Class 232 number 333, seen heading north with empty rail carriers. The town is also on the high-speed line linking Hanover with Frankfurt and south to München. Fulda was situated on the Frankfurt to Bibra railway, which was opened in 1866. The station was heavily bombed in the Second World War and was further rebuilt as part of the modernisation works associated with the Hanover to Würzburg high-speed line, which opened in the 1980s. Today the station is an important intercity interchange, with over 20,000 travellers using the station each day. Heading south is ICE set number 401052. offering a connection with the previous train from Hamburg are Class 402 train sets, numbers 033 and 006, with the 17:15 departure from Bremen. The time is just before 8 p.m. Heading north is 185-340. You can expect at least 4 freight services each way per hour through here. .401.052 is now ready to leave and continues its journey south heading for München. When we filmed in 2017, such cross-platform connections operated hourly in each direction. There was an hourly ICE service to and from Berlin and another hourly service to Leipzig. There are many other services that pass through here without stopping. The new kids on the block are the ICE4 train sets, designed to replace the earlier ICEs of Class 401. When we filmed, the trains were still undergoing testing, being rostered for public services to allow them to bed in. This is set number 9006, one of 100 train sets on order, with a further 8 sets under option. By the way, the headlights don't actually flicker. This is just a phenomenon generated by our video camera. .401.013 is one of the types to be replaced, as it heads north on the far platform. The mainline single-track route to the west of Fulda to Gießen is operated by Hessische Landesbahn, using diesel units such as this. The newly modernised railway constructed here in the 1980s combines the new high-speed route with the old classic lines. The station was designed so that the high-speed train platforms were in the centre of the station, whilst the lines on the classic route were on the outer edges. Finally, in this overview of the station, we see 152055 heading north into the late evening sun. In part 2 we journey north of Fulda on the old classic north-south main line, calling into locations north of Fulda, around Rhur, and finally around Hersfeld, including next to the town station. We begin just north of the main town at Fulda, where the high-speed line towards Kassel dives under and leaves the old classic main line. Heading north towards the camera is 185284. "152067 is slowed by signals as it heads train KT 50277 from Bremerhaven to Regensburg. Container trains and intermodal workings dominate on this route, which pour out of the major North German ports such as Bremerhaven, Hamburg and Rostock. In the centre of the picture are the two high-speed tracks, which are beginning to drop down in readiness for the nearby underpass. "185016 hurries south with a Sielzer to Mannheim mixed freight. 714014 is a rebuilt Class 212 diesel and is now an high-speed train rescue loco. Here it heads north at 25 past 8 on the morning of the 27th of July 2017. (189.992) is working train DGS 43109 from Hanover to Verona, carrying mainly swap bodies. It is passed by 185271. Moving north once again, we visit two locations just to the east of the village of Rhur. The first sees one of the local passenger services that work along the line on services between Kassel, Göttingen and Fulda. This Class 427 is forming the 0703 departure from Göttingen. Services are operated by the company Cantus. Another frequent commodity on this line is cars and car parts. 193856 heads this Bremen to München-Milbertshofen covered car train. A little to the north, and 185258 heads train EZ 51402 from Wanne Eickel to Mannheim. In the opposite direction we see 189453 on Rhur to DB Cargo, powering north with train EZ 51866 from Mannheim to Sielze. We head north once more and to an overbridge just to the south of Heunfeld, after which we call into the town station and to a couple of locations accessible from the station car park. Heading south we see 411032 and 006 on the 0613 from Dresden to Wiesbaden. Passing the train in the opposite direction is 152024 on what we believe is train KT 50082 from Basel to Hamburg. Next up was this engineer's unit. We would see this later on in the day, and which we suspected was involved in some extra non-planned maintenance, which blocked the northbound track for a number of hours. This is the station at Heunfeld, with modern canopies and platforms tacked onto the side of the old station building. Heading south is one of the numerous Vectron design of locomotives, which are common to this line. Here 193208 heads train DGS 43967 from Hamburg to Linz in Austria. "20 minutes later, at 10:20, comes 185045. "187310 was on Rhur to Mittelweserbahn when it was captured on camera with these southbound containers. 193275 heads train DGS 42949 from Wanne Eickel to Vienna Freudenau. DB Class 189s are not too common on these tracks. Here we see 189002 heading what we've identified as EZ 51612 from Leipzig to Nürnberg. This is a local service heading for Fulda, formed of a Class 428 Stadler-built 4-car electric unit which entered service in 2006. In the opposite direction, a 3-car Class 427 unit, number 003, heads north with a local stopping service from Fulda to Kassel. Local services operate at hourly intervals throughout the day. TXL Logistic have 193553 wearing light green vinyls. Here it powers train DGS 40565 from Padborg to Verona in Italy. Following along behind are 185401 and brand new 187119 on train EZ 51025 from Hamburg-Marschen to Mannheim. Another Class 193, this time 193605, with train DGS 41130 from Budapest to Rheinhausen. (186-264) heads south with train DGS 98611 from Großkorbeta to München-Milbertshofen. In part 3 of the programme, we continue our journey north, as we look at a number of spots north of Hersfeld to close to the village of Werder, some 9 kilometres to the north. We begin just north of Hersfeld, on the outskirts of the town around a kilometre north of the station, as 145046 heads south at the head of train EZ 51601 from Leipzig to Mannheim mixed freight. A short engineer's working followed a few minutes later, and was passed by 152123 on a Mannheim to Berlin-Sedin working. Freight trains were just a few minutes apart during our late morning filming. This is 185212 on train EZ 51167 from Hannover-Sielze to Mannheim. The train is passed by 187082. Moving north now, we cover two locations, the first north of Burghauner Tunnel and the other close to the village of Rotenkirchen. Here we see 185190 heading south with train EZ 51187 from Cielza to München. In the opposite direction it is the turn of new Class 187 number 100, heading north with EZ 51828 from Mannheim to Marschen. This is 193842 heading away from the camera, hauling a Nürnberg to Hamburg container train. The time was 12:10. Another going away shot sees 185209 heading a tank train from Hamburg to Donau. The tunnel here is 236 metres long and was constructed in 1866 by the Kassel to Fulda Railway Company. Another kilometre to the north and we are at Rotenkirchen as 185512 heads north. This view in the opposite direction shows the River Haune, with the main B27 road in the background. This engineer's trolley heads south towards Hünfeld. A stork nest is ready for its new occupants. The track's AC3 design first appeared in 2011, but properly came into series production from 2014 onwards. Large numbers of the class are currently being delivered for a variety of operators. 187074 seen here is owned by Rhine Cargo and entered traffic on the 12th of December 2016. 145025 heads north with train EZ 51822 from Mannheim to Leipzig. This is one of the original Bombardier Trax AC designs dating from the late 1990s. Two minutes later, an Austrian Railways 1116-275 heads north with train DGS 47130 from Kecskemét in Hungary to Bremerhaven. Four 11055 heads north 5 minutes later, with a working from Stuttgart to Berlin. Local hauled passenger services are rare on this line. This one, though, provides the sight of 120-148, heading south with the 1013 from Hamburg to Karlsruhe. Not far to the north, and we are close to a level crossing, just to the east of the village of Weide. First, we see a pair of Class 415 ICE units heading south, with the 1013 Dresden to Wiesbaden. A Class 411 is forming the 1211 from Frankfurt to Leipzig. The next train to come along continues our mini ICE fest with another Class 411 working the 11 o'clock Berlin to Frankfurt. Finally, this Class 427 unit heads north with a local service from Fulda. Next stop is Neukirchen. Part 4 of the programme looks at a number of locations around the town of Neukirchen. which is seen here on our map and lies to the south of Bad Hersfeld. This area is particularly popular with photographers and is easily accessible by train or car. The locations chosen are seen here on our map. Our first train is hauled by an unidentified Class 185, the KT 43176 container train from Fulda to Bremerhaven. Heading south is the 1235 from Leipzig to Frankfurt. This line is one of the busiest long-distance freight routes in the country and rivals the historically busy Rhine route. With some wide and flat valleys, the potential for photography is very good. Heading south is 182516 hauling train DGS 89235 from Bremen to München, Milbertshofen. Hector L now operates 7 of these machines, all bought second-hand from other operators. They have been renumbered into the Class 242 series. The second location chosen is just to the north at trackside, where we see 482026 heading south. The 2 fold-away chairs seen in the foreground were being used by local rail enthusiasts. (193-552) has just left the station and is seen hauling train DGS 43944 from Vienna to Wanne Eickel. 185301 is next to appear, hauling train KT 50557 from Hamburg to Vienna. Number 301 was delivered to DB Cargo on the 16th of February 2009. This is the town station, which sees an hourly service to and from Fulda and Bibra to the north. (427.003) arrives with a stopping service from Fulda and will go forward, calling at all stations to Kassel. This is 185311. (145055) heads north with train KT 42156 from Verona to Rostock. An increasing number of ex-DR Class 143 electrics are seeing use within the freight industry now. Here, DB-owned private operator RBH has numbers 143941 and 916 on train number GC 63280 from Beddingen to Ingolstadt. Meanwhile, this is the view from the road overbridge as 152085 heads mixed freight number EZ 51681 from Nuremberg to Hamburg. The Class 120s are now a very much endangered species, and they won't be in traffic for much longer. Here, number 149 heads north. Our final section in this programme looks at the line north of Newkirchen to Bad Hersfeld, with the main locations visited shown here on our maps. We begin at Odensachsen, then up to the hamlet of Hermannspiegel and onwards towards Hauneck. The train in view is just about 2 kilometres north of our previous location at Newkirchen and heads towards the camera down a long straight. Locomotive number 145012 is in charge of a service from Verona to Rostock. In the opposite direction is 193853, hired to Box Express, and working a service from Hamburg to München. This is the village of Odensachsen, dating from the year 1003. Today it has around 180 inhabitants. Here we have 145057 and 077 on a Nürnberg to Sedin freight. Viewed from the road overbridge is this unidentified Vossloh G1208 diesel loco working a northbound engineers train. With rain beginning to fall, number 411006 heads a southbound working bound for Frankfurt. (185-223) and 040 head north, with an unidentified mixed freight, but probably bound for Hanover. This is the 1435 from Leipzig to Frankfurt. We were lucky enough to film another pair of RBH Class 143s later on in the day. This is 143084 and 614 on what we think is a Paderborn to Oberhausen working. 5 minutes later, and 193219 heads train DGS 95084 from Burdop to Hamburg. Moving north to Hermannspiegel, we catch unit numbers 427056 and 427003, heading south with a service for Fulda. Also heading south are 411013 and 415004 on the 1413 from Dresden to Wiesbaden ICE service. With the sun out, it was 185387, next to head south, back on the 9th of July 2013, when we last visited this stretch of line. This is 401066. This is the road crossing at Oberhaun, as 427056 and 003 return north from Fulda. The old station buildings belonging to the now closed station are to be seen on the left of the picture after these two units have passed by. Another blast from the past shows 152103 with a train bound for Verona. Our final section takes us up to Unterhauen before we head north to Bad Hersfeld. (428.001) and (427.004) are the first to appear with a Fulda to Castle service. With the A4 motorway in the far distance, unit number 428.003 heads south with a Eisenach to Fulda train. Single line working for track repairs meant that freight services were suspended to and from the south, and this track maintenance vehicle may well have been something to do with it. (411.098) and (415.005) were paired up to form the 1613 Dresden to Wiesbaden service. This is a good line upon which to see the Class 411s working. Number 030 was next to appear with the 1811 Frankfurt to Leipzig. (185-283) heads past the same spot some 4 years earlier. Back to the 27th of July 2017, and 411028 is on a Berlin to Frankfurt working. There was still no sign of any freight, and it was after 415004 and 411011 had passed by that we moved on. 15 minutes later, and we were set up just north of Bad Hersfeld station, and the floodgates had now opened. It was freight non-stop, with 182507 being the first to appear on a car train bound for Bremen. Almost immediately in the opposite direction came 187930 on train DGS 48992 from Hamburg to Enns. The time was just before 8 p.m. Three minutes later, and 185254 headed south. (482.040) was still awaiting a northbound path when 411.072 was sent past on a service for Dresden. (186674) was 4 minutes behind the previous freight as it heads south with loaded tanks. At this time the loco was on loan to DB Cargo. As we draw the programme to a close, we headed north to Friedlaus to catch 482040 on its northbound set of tank wagons. We will return to Bad Hersfeld in a future programme as we study the line north towards the major junction town of Bibra. But before we go, and staying with Germany, if you like German steam, you may well be interested in our Dampfspektakel 2018 DVD programme, looking at the spring steam event held around the city of Trier. If you've not already purchased it, then here's 01202 leaving Erang to whet your appetite. You might also be interested in our line-by-line programme covering the route from Bremen to Wunsdorf, where busy freight and passenger traffic are once again witnessed. And finally, a brief look at what's in store in our next programme covering the route north of Bad Hersfeld and the lines around the junction town of Bibra, due for release later this year.